Code of Ethics that we have now is the product of several kind of developmental stages within the profession. Started off, when social work first began, there really was concern about the morality of the clients. That these poor unfortunates were living in terrible conditions, having to make bad choices. And so the concern was to try to kind of raise them to a higher moral plane. That transition, that was 1800s, when the very beginnings of social work. By the beginning of the 20th century, there began to be a shift into looking more at the values of the profession and of the professionals, paying less attention actually to the morality of the clients themselves. But NASW itself still didn't have anything in writing in terms of the Code of Ethics until 1960. And it was made up of personal proclamations, 14 of them. I give precedence to my profession and responsibility over my personal interests. I respect the privacy of the people I serve. Those were the kinds of issues that were included in that initial Code of Ethics. Finally redid the Code of Ethics completely in 1979, and we went from 14 proclamations to 80 ethical principles. The next stage really has to do with ethical standards and risk management, and that's where we are developmentally at this point, more or less willingly, I guess. The current Code of Ethics has 155 ethical standards. So we're getting more ethical. The trouble is, how can we possibly remember what those are? Now, 14 statements you can kind of get your head around. It seems to me that we've gotten so specific that we've lost some of the best things about looking at our profession as an ethical profession. But in the current Code of Ethics, there is a preamble and there is a section that lists values and ethical principles. 6 of them. I can remember 6 things. I cannot remember 155. And it seems to me that that's where, at least I think, that we turn in as we make decisions, as we look at ourselves as ethical beings and as an ethical profession. First one of those is service. Social workers elevate service to others above self-interest. Social workers draw on the knowledge, values, and skills to help other people in need to address social problems. Social workers are encouraged to volunteer some portion of their professional skills with no expectation of significant financial return. Pro bono service. Is that any of that a surprise to anybody? No. I think some people, that again, the whole notion that kind of expected to do some pro bono service, it may just kind of be in our blood and we end up volunteering with other agencies anyway. But that's written into the profession. That's part of who we are. But another part of who we are is social justice. And that, I think, is one of the things that really sets us apart from other disciplines. We pursue social change, particularly with and on behalf of vulnerable, oppressed individuals and groups of people. Our social change efforts are focused primarily on issues of poverty, unemployment, discrimination, and other forms of social injustice. These activities tend to promote sensitivity to and knowledge about oppression and cultural and ethnic diversity. Social workers strive to ensure access to needed information, services, and resources, equality of opportunity, and meaningful participation in decision-making for all people. we are just taught from the beginning. We meet the client where they are. They have as much value and worth as anyone else, and we're kind of there to find that value and worth in them and help them find it in themselves sometimes. Human relationships are important. We don't just look at people as individuals. We are aware of the environment, we're aware of the family dynamics, we're aware of the other systems that impinge upon their lives. And we do those things with integrity. That means some knowledge of the values and the ethical standards that are behind the profession. And we are obligated to do that with some measure of competence. Uninformed do-gooderism does not necessarily help people, as some of us may know, and from the hard way, that when we lead with our hearts only and don't let our heads come along, we sometimes end up doing more harm than good, or at least not doing the good that we could have. These are the 6 values. Think about your work last week. Can you see ways in which your work reflected those values?